Hey friend, welcome back to another vlog of my life as a final year med student. A few weeks ago, I had my surgery OSCE exam, and let's just say that it didn't go so well. As my examiner gave me feedback on how I did during the exam, I was just mentally kicking myself for forgetting some important key steps, and I left the ward feeling like I had failed the station. The week after my osler was my last week of surgery, and this week started off with a regular old Monday. I woke up early to exercise, then I took the bus to the hospital. On my commute, I was just squeezing in my onco reviews and trying to catch up after spiraling and degenerating the previous weekend. I get back to dorms after a full day of classes, cooked dinner, and before I knew it, the day was over. Last week, after my surgery exam, I had gone back to dorms and typed up a whole list of things I needed to work on, based on what I had messed up during the exam. I needed to study up on bedside equipment, go to wards more often, and just see more patients and examine them to practice my physical exam skills. But in trying to systematize my way out of my mistakes, I kinda neglected my feelings, my overwhelming sense of shame and guilt for doing poorly. I thought that if I could just create a perfect enough system, then I could avoid making the same mistakes, and I just kind of brushed my emotions off. The consequence was me feeling unmotivated and really avoiding studying, despite knowing very well that I should be studying, because studying would just remind me of what I had missed on my exam and make me feel bad. So I just tried procrastinating instead. But today I had a full day off of classes, and it's time for a reset. After battling my reflex to just squash any feelings of incompetency every time any negative emotion came up, I figured that maybe that wasn't the best way to get over what had happened. After having more time to think, to journal, and to lie in bed and stare up at the ceiling, I realized that when I make a mistake, I first need to give myself a moment of grace before I make the to-do list of what I need to work on and how to fix it. I need to literally say to myself, ouch, that feels bad. I feel embarrassed and incompetent. This is a painful human feeling, but it's okay to feel this. This feeling does not define my worth. And after I let myself actually feel bad, mope a bit, and just sit in my feelings, I felt better. I didn't set crazy new goals, I just went back to the basics. I cleared my onco reviews, but this time, I took my time, and it felt more purposeful. It wasn't a vague, I need to memorize this. It was a, I want to understand this because I was confused too. That shift from anxiety to curiosity, it changes everything. Something I'm still working on though is being a bit braver during bedsides. I'm often too scared to volunteer to do the physical exam in front of the doctors and my ward mates because I'm just scared and I feel like I don't know anything. I just keep looping these dots on in my brain without doing anything about it. I usually hang back to watch my ward mates go through the steps instead, but lately I'm trying to be a bit more proactive and volunteer more during class. Sure, I'm gonna miss stuff and get things wrong, but isn't that how we all learn? I think I need to push myself to take that step forward, mess up, and learn from my mistakes. That will also give me a better idea of exactly what I need to work on. Hello, so it's currently 6 and this is my last week of general surgery. I've realized throughout the past 10 weeks the importance of finding something that really works for you. And for me, it is doing my Anki cards. So that's what I'm going to be doing up until my dinner is ready. I'm making congee over here and I think it's boiling over. Yeah, I'm making some congee and then I'm going to cook some veggies and reheat some pork that I already meal prepped in the beginning of the week. But in the meantime, I'm going to try clearing the rest of my Anki cards. I'm aiming to get 20 more new cards done and then I'll be done for the day. And just really enjoying the last week of surgery because I'm going to a peripheral hospital. It's generally pretty chill and it's a good time for me to catch up on work that I've been falling behind on. So besides editing this vlog, I also want to clear some of my word notes, and basically I take notes during wards on Apple Notes just on my phone. I don't have an iPad and I can't really annotate on senior notes, so I just make notes in Apple Notes, and I haven't gotten around to migrating those notes into my Anki deck or like to a set of senior notes. So this week, basically before my general surgery rotation ends, I want to try to do that. So yeah, let's see how far I get before dinner time hits. Alright, dinner is served. Let me show you guys what I'm having tonight. So here I have just carrots, tofu, there's some pork, and then at the very bottom there's actually some asparagus that I just blanched. And then here I have my congee. And I'm probably just gonna pull up some YouTube to watch. Maybe listen to a podcast or maybe watch a Chinese drama. And beyond all my talk about studying, the real rehab this week was also not studying. It was what I did in the spaces in between. I gave myself permission to just enjoy doing things just for the heck of it, and not because it's productive. To read, to draw, to watch a drama just because I wanted to, not because it's morally superior or anything. And of course, that includes cooking some random dessert just because I was craving it. I find that staying in dorms tends to bring out the most disciplined, but also more rigid aspect of myself. I wake up early to exercise, I clear my Anki reviews every day, and I scroll very minimally. But then when I go home on the weekends, I completely spiral and degenerate into doom scrolling. So this week, I was letting myself off the hook more often, giving myself the space to do whatever I wanted, instead of trying to be ultra disciplined. And this was the best reset I needed. So what's something that recently didn't go your way? And more importantly, how did you put yourself back together afterwards? I'd love to hear your story in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!